Some book clubs don't just miss the mark, they kill the love of reading. A circle of chairs does not make a club. Actually, more like detention in disguise. Do you remember the awkward silence, everyone waiting and pretending to care? Kids don't crave, let's discuss it. They crave movement, mystery, and mission. Strip all of that away, and what do you have left? A holding pen. Not a fun place to be. This is how the love of reading dies. A circle of chairs does not make a club. Actually, more like detention in disguise. Do you remember the awkward silence, everyone waiting and pretending to care? Kids don't crave, let's discuss it. They crave movement, mystery, and mission. Strip all of that away, and what do you have left? A holding pen. Not a fun place to be. This is how the love of reading dies. Grown-ups talk, kids tune out. Yeah, that's what happens during discussion times. When adults dominate the airspace and they lecture with book club cozy vibes, the kids, they numb out. They're no longer interested. Appleby in 1996 did some research and they realized that when kids lead, learning lives. So when adults hold discussion space inside book clubs, this is when the reading dies. Curriculum-driven picks, they break more than they build. You think a 7-year-old doing a book club or a read out loud with Charlotte's Web is wholesome, until it's about death, butchering, and survival economics on the farm. That's not advanced reading. That's emotional whiplash. Pushing books with abstract morals, wars, death, before kids are ready, doesn't build wisdom. It builds resistance. Just because they can read the words doesn't mean they need to read the books. Tunnell and Jacobs, 2012, some more research, warned that age appropriate isn't just about reading level. It's about lived experience and psychological safety. This is how books die, when safety isn't part of the selection. Too grown up, too checked out. Ever watch a kid who pretended to read, staring off in that window? I didn't have to pretend, I was that kid. But I also noticed other kids like me, but not like me. I was dyslexic, so I struggled with reading words I knew, but I couldn't decipher in text. But I knew other kids could read these words, but they were checked out. Why were they checked out? This happens when the vocabulary flies over their heads or the context doesn't land. The kids don't engage. They disengage. It doesn't grow their minds. It just stretches their patience. And that's how books die. Forced read out loud, public shaming sessions. Nothing builds confidence like being snickered at as you mispronounce Gnod, right? Or is that just me? Cold reading aloud is not skill-building reading. It is spotlighting anxiety. Now, for introverts and for struggling readers, it becomes a trauma loop that can last them a lifetime. Opitz and Razinski from 2008 proved it damages fluency, and erodes confidence. Keep forcing it and watch the love of reading die. No crafts, no games, no play, no way. When book clubs feel like homework dressed up with fancy bookmarkers, it's not working. When there's no debate, no crafts, no puzzles, no games, no role-playing, then the story is being drained. Learning needs to move, to create, to laugh, to question, not to sit still, not to fill out worksheets, not to pretend to reflect. This is how the love of reading dies between the lines. Book clubs aren't meant to be the main course. They're meant to spice up the meal, not replace the nutrients. When book clubs become the centerpiece and phonics and writing get squeezed in, then the kids sink under the weight. Overloaded meaning is how the love of books dies. It's not your kids. It's the system. And there's a better blueprint. Stay tuned.